like having a Zoom call, isn't it?
Yes. Well,
Just
hello,
like being on a Zoom call.
everyone. Welcome to Monday show with Alan and Greg and our guest Netty from Digging Books. Everyone,
Hello.
say hello to Netty. Now, Netty, our show is rather informal. We don't have a lot of questions that we ask standard, so it's just sort of whatever happens. But we do have a tradition that we start off talking about books that we're currently reading or books that we've recently read that we want to highlight to people. So you, as a guest, you can talk about a few of the books that you want to talk about.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't mind. What book are you reading at the moment?
Oh, I go last.
Oh, okay.
I go
What
last.
about you, Alan? What about you?
I go second.
Oh, that's just not fair, is it? I've been totally stitched up here. Right, well, I'll tell you what I'm reading. And I have absolutely zero guilt. I'm reading this. Ooh.
Oh, Garbogist.
Oh, yeah.
Early. Garbogist.
Now I'm invited to get with you.
I know. I'm sorry, Alan. I couldn't help it. It was sat on the
Oh,
side.
sure.
And it's 800 pages long. And I thought, well, I'm such a slow reader. I thought, I don't want to spend the entire month of August reading Chances. So I thought I'd start it early. But you know what? It's such a page turner that I've nearly finished it. Well, I've read 411 pages and I've only started 3 days ago. But, oh, gosh, I can't remember the last time I read it. Probably, I don't know, 30 years ago, something like that. And I really liked it. You know, I've said it in my video before that how much I liked it. But, oh, my God, it's really offensive. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, 30 years later, and you're like, oh, my goodness me, this really, really is quite offensive. But I'm guiltily, I'm still enjoying it, though. Ooh,
Now, was she deliberately offensive back then, or is it just the times and pushing the edges?
I don't know. I think it's just. I think.
Are the men chauvinistic or?
Yeah, they're chauvinistic. There's a lot of, you know, it's got everything that you could possibly get offended by in it. You know, but it's such a page turner. I can't put it down. You know, I'm getting up in the morning before I'm going to work, and I'm like reading it for like half an hour.
And you've read it before.
But yeah, I mean, it is very much a book of its time. Not of its time, but, you know, it was written, I think it was in 1980 or something like that. So, you know, it's 40 years old nearly. So, my maths isn't very good, but yeah. So, you know, it's going to have those words in it. But those words are not used to be... because they're being used to be part of the stuff. They're just being
deliberately hateful.
No, that's right. It's part of it. Yeah. So you are supposed to be repelled by it, if you know what I mean. So, but I just think it's, you know, it's just a fun book, isn't it? But I have got some more books for Garborgust as well. But I'll come to that. I know what you two are reading now.
Okay. Now, the thing is, I have a choice between either a Jilly Cooper or a Jackie Collins that I'm going to try to squeeze in for Garbogust. I don't know how much time I'll have, but one of them.
Jilly Cooper. I read, what was it, Riders, and it's.
I think that's the one I have scheduled. It's available from the library.
I quite liked that. I quite enjoyed that.
Naughty?
Yeah. It's naughty, and it's very jolly hockey sticks, you know, because it's very horsey, so it's quite posh, you know, but English, you know, very upper, you know, a bit toffee nosed, because it's very horsey and stuff. But the chap in it, the main protagonist, someone Campbell Black, I think his name is. Rupert or Robert or something like that. He's an absolute cad. He really is. But, you know, everyone's supposed to love him, you know, and it's very funny. It's a very good book. It's very tongue-in-cheek, you know. I quite enjoyed it anyway.
Okay. It's a possibility. And before I let Alan get on his book, I just want to say hello to everyone in the chat. We've got Bad is Rad, too.
Oh, hi, Bad.
We got Alexis Carey. I think
Hello,
she's asking about the
Alexis.
name of your channel, which I believe she answered. Let me check. And that's Digging Books is the name of your channel.
Yes. Yeah,
So
digging books.
they're chatting with each other. I'm not going to read out the chat. Yeah, Alan and Greg have no rule. Everything goes. Yep.
Do you know, I totally forgot people were watching. I completely
Yeah, there are
forgot.
some. MJ is here reading this live. Hello, MJ.
Hello, MJ.
Bad wants that Jackie book.
Yeah, you've got to get the Jackie book.
Sounds like Dean Koontz style book. Ha ha ha. I meant Richard Lehman.
Oh.
Yeah, Richard Lehman, the guy who always talks about rumps.
Yeah, he always throws a bit of incest in as well, doesn't he, Richard Lehman?
Richard Lehman, I don't know about incest, but maybe.
Yeah, I remember reading The Cellar. Oh gosh, again a long time. I must have only been about 11 or 12 when I read it. And a friend of mine said, "Oh, read this." You know, my mum was cool about stuff. She just let me read whatever I wanted, as long as I was reading. She wasn't that fast, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is rude."
That was a pretty brutal book, as I remember.
It was, yeah, it was very rude.
I'm going to be reading a Richard Lehman for Garbagus, but I don't know if I'll be reading that one yet.
No. But I've got a couple. I've got The Traveling Vampire Show. I've read that one before.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's quite good. The Cellar, and there's a couple of others that I've got, but I can't remember what the names are now.
Tentatively penciled in Lonesome Night in October, which is one I have not read yet.
Oh, but I mean, he was all right. He's very much of his time as well, isn't he, Richard Lehman? So, you know.
I mean, I find it kind of humorous. In a way.
So do I.
He's just so obsessed with sex and young women jiggling and all that kind of stuff.
Oh dear.
I don't get offended. I mean, I don't get offended by it. I decide it's better just to laugh at it.
Yeah. Well, you can't get offended by that, can you? Really? I mean, you know, if he probably got a bit of a kick out of writing it. To be fair.
I think I have a feeling for the writer Sidney Sheldon, whom I haven't read in a long time, but I've read like all his books back in the day, and but they're just page turners and they're really clever, you know. And I've learned stuff about like I remember one scene where this woman was in somebody else's house, like snooping around, like doing some private detective stuff, right? And the cops came to the door, and she goes, "Oh shit, what am I gonna do?" You know. And next scene, she's opening the door and she's got cold cream like all over her face, stuff like that. Where I can use that someday. You know, I can that's useful information. I can remember that. Go, I'll put cold cream. The cops won't recognize me. So,
Remind me to send you over some cold cream then, Alan. I'll get you some.
No, I have some. But how's my makeup, by the way? Okay, is it all right?
Yeah, looking good. Looking good, Alan.
I haven't started my Garbagus yet, but I'm going to read that Chances with You. I'm going to get it from the library. But
I'm sorry. I'm saying book sniffers. She says 4 a.m.
Hi, book sniffers.
She must be in Australia.
That's Nicole.
Yeah. Australia, I think.
Wow. And Nicole of the Light, she does a lot of streaming and work productions. But so I'm having a good reading month already. I've finished this, and Netty and I have been talking about Carlos Castaneda a wee bit. I'm going to be reading him this month. I'm reading some Carl Jung. I've been reading like some nonfiction this month because here's some more nonfiction. Greg turned me on to this book, Sandy Hook, about the massive killing there, massive shooting. 23 elementary school kids, and then the aftermath of all people were calling it a hoax and a conspiracy theory, and it was faked and all that. And some pretty famous people, or I mean, on that circuit, the Crazy Town circuit, were involved, and they finally had a lawsuit that they were the families were awarded millions of dollars. I hope they get paid soon, because they were saying it was like a reenactment. It never happened, and they were actors and things like that. So I had to put this book down several times. It really affected me.
It's just, I was amazed that some people would actually believe it.
Well,
why would you
I
make
can
something
kind of
like
understand
that?
some of the mothers who, I mean, it was so horrendous, people can't comprehend it. So they're like, for their own mental well-being, they're saying, "Oh, that couldn't happen. That's too horrendous." You know, some of them were kind of like that. But go ahead, Greg. I think I interrupted you.
But think of like Alex Jones had his radio, and really, I think he just talked about it so people would tune in. It's just so outrageous.
Oh,
and
that's horrible.
And then he can get advertising revenue selling his supplements.
Right.
And that's, they said, look, you just can't lie about that.
No.
Yeah, and his wife was involved, and pretty bad. But
yeah,
I'm kind of a mood reader, like I think Netty is and MJ is, admittedly, right?
Yeah.
So I've been wanting to read this for a year or two. It's Gene Wolfe, the book The New Sun. There's 5 books in this series, and this is 4 and 5. So I'm already through the first one, the Sword of Lector. So the second one is in here too. I'm going to start that, and I just really like Gene Wolfe. And Tom at LA Books turned me on to Gene Wolfe about 3 years ago.
So, Raymond, I'm just going through our comments. Oh, read by Fred. Hello, Fred.
Hi, Fred.
Having a day off. Lucky you having a day off.
Fred he finished 1984 today. Yeah, no, 1984 group.
I've got well done. Comments now that people reading it are starting to finish. And let's get through our people saying hello to each other. All right. At age 12, gosh, yeah, on Richard Lehman.
Yeah, I know. Naughty.
Shannon read a book at a young age that I'm reading for Garbach, Happy Hooker. Yeah, Bad's going to read the Happy Hooker.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, Bad's bought that, hasn't she? And that looks quite good. I thought that looked quite a good book.
Yeah. And she got a good only $5.
Wow.
MJ's making her Garbagus videos. Netty, I see so many books in your background.
Oh, there's more.
What's been your most favorite read this year? You tell me that before I start getting into what I've been reading. You have a favorite book for the year?
So far, it was the All Small Things. Small Things Like These, Claire Keegan. That was such a beautiful book. Alan, I think you would really like it. It was it's set in a very small town in Ireland, and it's just about this chap who runs a sort of, he's like a coal merchant. He delivers coal to the people in this town, but this little tiny little town is very much ruled by the Catholic Church, and it touches upon the Magdalene laundries. If you don't know anything about that, yeah, it's horrifying, absolutely horrifying. But the book is not about that. It's just a lovely, lovely, lovely story. And yeah, that was probably so far that's been my favorite book this year.
Right, I remember you reviewed that.
Yeah,
I do know a bit about the Magdalene laundries. That's when they would take their children away from them.
Yeah, it's horrific, absolutely horrific. I mean,
and the Catholic Church hid it; they buried it.
Yeah, it was not good, but But yeah, but it kind of touches upon that and how controlled this small village is by the church. But there's this wonderful character, Bill Furlong, and he is just such a lovely man. You know, you just, oh, every page is just so rich. It's small, but the book is mighty. It really is. It won the Booker Prize last year. It won the Booker Prize. It's called Small Things Like These. I think it's behind me. Oh, here it is. Small Things Like These.
Okay.
Claire Keegan.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a wonderful, wonderful storytelling, you know. Just lovely. Just really lovely. Hilary Mantel says, waste not a word, exquisite. So, yeah. I highly recommend that one, just for a nice little read. That was my favourite one so far.
And let's say hello to Mark, Book Time and Elvis. Hello, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hello,
Mark.
Elvis, if he's in the background. And we've got Zap here too. And Zap saying hello to all. So I'm going to show you one of the books that I finished last week. And I was actually influenced by a booktuber to pick up this book. And what happened was I enrolled in the Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah, so do I.
And this book was available on Kindle Unlimited. And I said, well, I'm going to read this.
I know what it is, Greg. I know what it is. Oh, it's the Har. Oh, I loved that.
I don't know that one.
I loved that book. I loved it so much, I bought a hard copy of it. That's how much I loved it. I read it on Kindle, and then I went and bought a hard copy. It was fantastic. It was so different.
Just the character of Muriel.
She's fantastic, isn't she?
She really, I mean, you rarely see older characters in books.
No, that's right.
And I'm just saying, you go, girl. I mean, sure, she's in her 80s, but...
Yeah, Greg, did you find that we're not giving anything away here, but towards the end, you're rooting for her, and you really want to, you're sort of like, go on, Muriel. You're really rooting for her.
The American billionaire, I'm saying, you get that American billionaire.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I mean,
it's called the horror, huh? Harr.
Because it does involve a sea monster who gets a little hungry, like sea monsters are supposed to do. But it's more than just that, because you really get attached to the character.
You do. You really do. And you don't care. You actually, it's one of those books I found that it's completely turned on its head. Whereas, in most books you're quite frightened of the monsters and things like that. But in that, you actually do like them, don't you?
The Avalon, yeah. He's a monster, but he's not doing anything that his species just wouldn't do.
No, that's right.
But he has this weird relationship with Muriel.
He does, yeah.
And that's just, I found it very different and it's horror, but it's not a typical kind of horror novel.
No, definitely not. It's fantastic. It's really good. Alan, you should read that.
It's called The Harr, Haar?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, by David Sodergren.
Sodergren, yeah.
Okay. I'll get it.
You said it's available in paperback. I mean, I got it on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm probably not going to get the paperback, but
no,
very highly recommended. I am coming out with what I read last week in a video, coming out Wednesday, I think, where I mentioned it again. But for the people watching here, they get a sneak preview about the Harr.
Fantastic! Look what I got the other day. Look, Killer Crabs.
How did you get that? Where'd you find that one?
It was on eBay.
Oh,
it was on eBay. I hope you
didn't pay too much for it.
No, I didn't. I think it was only about £8, which isn't too bad. It's not in fantastic condition, but it doesn't matter. You can still read it.
Yeah.
It's all right. And I did get this one, Greg.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I did. I couldn't resist that one. And another Carter Brown one I got was this one. I don't know if you can see that.
Push lined coffin.
The plush lined coffin.
Okay.
But I quite liked her crochet poncho. I thought that was quite nice.
These old covers just have so much character, and
They do, don't they? They're fantastic.
they really are. They're just
they're so hard to get hold of, though. I mean, and they can be really, really expensive. And you just think, really? You don't mind if they're in good condition, but a lot of the time they're not in that good condition, really, are they? But you know, they're all not.
They've been moldering in someone's basement for decades.
I know.
And then when Grandpa dies, you go, well, Grandpa's book's got to go.
Yeah, I know. Send them all my way.
Yeah, I'll take them. Now, one of the funny things is that well, I had my anniversary last week, and we went out, driving like 2 hours to a used bookstore in Charlottesville, Virginia, and it was just a little tiny paperback shack, and the woman who ran it, late 70s, early 80s. I came up, she was smoking a cigarette in front of the store, and I started buying some of her men's adventure. She'd hold, oh, good, someone's buying those.
Nick Carter. And and she mentioned, she just take up space, but she also mentioned, like, in town they used to have like a paperback store that would sell like the John D. McDonald books, his colored like series. Oh yeah. And
they would sell, like, they put in like $12, $15, and put them in the nice little paper sacks, none of the plastic sacks. Because I just can't be bothered. I'm just selling them for $1.75 each.
Oh.
We're more of them, but the store was pretty much cleaned out of anything like that, because people like me are going to see these old paperbacks. I'll just buy them.
Yeah.
At $1.75,
That's so cheap, isn't it? So
it
cheap.
really is. And the thing is, she knew she could sell them for more if she put a little effort into it.
Yeah. Or she could put them on eBay or whatever.
But she obviously just doesn't mind.
No,
she's not in it for the money, which is rare these days, isn't it? Because a lot of people are in it for the money. It's nice that there are still people around there that don't really care about that kind of thing.
The thing is, if she were 20, 30 years younger and running a bookstore, probably to make a good living, she probably would be selling them for more. But I think that's like her retirement hobby or something, just. Yeah.
There was a really cool bookstore called Cameron's in Portland. That was just like one of those bookstores full of paperbacks and magazines and newspapers, and you had to like go through the tunnel and to find things, And they closed over the pandemic. It was a really cool bookstore.
Oh,
yeah, it was pretty small, And I walked by it the other day. Where it's they're going to tear it down now too.
That's a shame. Pandemic's changed a lot of things, hasn't it? An awful lot of things. When I was in Ireland in April, there's a lot of bookshops over there actually in Dublin. There's a lot, but I found one bookshop that was exactly how you described, Alan, where you go through, a little lane, and then you've got to open the door, and then you've got these low ceilings. It's very oppressive in there, and and then you've got to hunt through all the books. And that was great. That was a really good bookshop. But we have there's not very many in Worthing where I live on the south coast. There's more there's more in Brighton, secondhand bookshops. One particular one which is just outside the station as you go out the station and under the bridge, there's one there, and there's this old chap that runs it, and he's a really nice guy, and there's just piles and piles and piles of books everywhere. I mean, they smell mouldy and it smells mouldy in there and everything, but you could spend a whole day in there just rifling through all these wonderful books. And he's a really nice chap as well. You can talk to him for ages. I went in there and we were talking about Pynchon, and he was telling me about we were talking about Shakespeare and stuff like that, and he was saying, don't bother reading it because they're plays. Go and see them, you'll understand them better. He's a really eccentric old guy, but yeah, I loved it over there. It's great. But I wish there was a few more on my doorstep. The charity shops that we've got, they're in abundance, but they tend to always sell the same kind of things. Lots of the paperbacks that you can get in the supermarkets and things like that. Those sort of stuff. Dean Koontz. No,
I'm reading some Dean Koontz for Garbagus, but what's kind of cool that I'm sure you guys can relate to? Somebody ought to do a video on this. Like what you find in old books.
Oh, yeah. I found some things in mine.
Airline tickets and...
Yeah, I found that.
You can find old photographs sometimes.
I found an airline ticket to Singapore, I think it was.
Oh, wow.
I thought, what a shame.
It's from Los Angeles.
About 30 years out of date.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, booksellers have a word for it. That when they find a book with something in it, generally speaking, they just leave it there. Like I said, I found an old photograph stuffed in the back of a paperback once.
Oh.
The person who did the selling probably noticed it and just said, "I'm just going to leave it there. Someone stuck it there. Someone can buy it and do what they want." Or I say, like theater tickets or stubs. And I know I have one of my paperbacks that has a subway card from when I used to commute to the Washington, D.C., and it had like 10 cents on it.
Oh, my goodness. 10 cents.
Wow.
10 cents.
That get you about 100 yards now, isn't it?
Like when I buy books, I save the receipt, and I put the receipt in them too, so I know when I bought it. Like I was saying, this Gene Wolfe novel I've had since July 4th, 2021. I bought it on July 4th. Weird, huh?
Yeah. Let me get through some more comments because we're building up some comments. Here's bad. Netty, what is the best part of the day to read, and what do you drink? Coffee or tea or something else?
Oh, well, I always have, great intentions on my days off that I'm going to sit down and I'm going to read all day. But then I get completely distracted by my phone and YouTube, or BookTube, I should say, and I'm always scrolling through it. So I would say, for me, the first thing in the morning is the best time for me to read. That's when I read most. I read quickest is after I've slept and I wake up, and I read first thing in the morning, providing it doesn't make me fall back to sleep again. But yeah, I find that first thing in the morning really is the best time for me to read. And I read every single night as well. Every day. I read every single day. I have to. I cannot go to bed without a book or the Kindle. I can't. I just can't sleep. When I go away on holiday, I have to take it with me as well. Even if I'm staying over one night somewhere, I have to take my Kindle with me. It goes everywhere.
My Kindle goes everywhere when I travel.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I had a weekend at a lake house where I couldn't read much because, you got a lake house with friends and you can't just run off to a corner and read your book. But
I would.
How rude.
I know. How rude.
I would. Netty, you look beautiful today, my friend. Your hair is gorgeous, says Bad.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
yeah, one hair for me. It's like your head's nice and shiny today.
Oh, Greg. And you both look fantastic. My hair, look, See, it's all fake. Look, I've got terrible grey hair. It's all there.
Oh.
It's it's all fake. It's all out of a bottle.
You know what? Going back to like our reading thing, when I get asked about like why do I read so much or whatever, it goes back to when ever since I was a child, I felt like I was wasting time if I wasn't reading. Now other people think like reading's a waste of time. Why do you want to waste your time reading? You could be surfing or but I feel like I'm wasting time if I'm not reading at least 1 or 2 or 3 books.
I think fishing's wasting time.
Fishing. Well, I tell people you go fishing and I'll clean them and cook it for you.
Well, fishing, I think, can be just a way to relax.
It's relaxing, isn't it? It's the same as reading, yeah.
Exactly. Some people go out to fish and they're really not interested in catching something too much. They are interested in catching, but the most part is just I just want to sit here in the peaceful wilderness and relax a little.
Drink beer.
Oh yeah, or like Brian at Bookish says, he used to have a fishing channel that I found. I love to watch those videos, but he would catch and release, and I go, well, why are you doing that? He goes, well, for one, you don't want to eat them. The river is like polluted or something wherever he's fishing, and it's so easy to go to the grocery store. You don't have to cut their heads out, gut them, and all that slime and crap. But
no.
I know, Netty, you were talking about the best time for you to read is in the morning. Now, for me, when I get up, I have pet chores I have to do every morning before I can do anything because the cats are hungry.
Yes, the cats come first.
They do come first. And usually I have one little cat alarm clock. Will wake me. If she's hungry, she'll attack my toes.
Oh, I miss having a pet. I lost my dog 2 years ago in August, and it was the most painful experience ever. Oh. It was so painful that I miss him every single day. He was my best friend, and if ever I had an opportunity to go home early from work, anyone want to cut hours? Yeah, I'll be there because I just wanted to be at home with my dog. I just absolutely love my dog, But,
what kind of dog was it?
He was actually a Staffordshire Bull Terrier, which I think in America they're you would say pit bulls, but he wasn't. He wasn't a pit bull, and he was the most gentlest thing ever. He really was just terrified of everything. He didn't bark. He tried to bark, and if he did, he got exhausted and he'd sort of cough and go and have a lie down. Alan, he was like if Bob Marley was a dog, it would be him, because he was literally so laid back all the time, and he just used to be by my side constantly. And it's such a shame that he's not here, because he would have been sat on a chair right next to me, just sitting there like that, looking into the camera. He just had to be with me everywhere. But I miss him. But my daughter said, Mum, can we get another pet? I'm like, no, I couldn't. I just can't take that heartache, But her dad has just recently got a kitten. So when she goes to see him, she's all over this kitten. Can we get a kitten? Can we get it? Oh, no, I'm not having a kitten.
All you have to do is go to the animal shelter. If I presume you have animal shelters where you are. And something? There'll be a cat or a dog. And you'll just sit in and say, oh, I'll take this one.
I know. I'll probably want to take them all home. That's the trouble.
Well, that's the problem. I said it before. Since I've retired, I thought about volunteering for the animal shelter. But I know
that's a great idea.
I know I can't do it because I would be taking them home with me.
Yeah, I know. They just bring so much to your life, don't they?
I'm tempted to get a cat myself, and Greg's heard me talk about tempted to get a miniature Chihuahua, but And I've had miniature schnauzers I really like. So I know the commitment it takes. My last one lived to be 17 in
Wow.
Arizona. But I could and I have a small apartment too. But a cat with a little kitty litter, and I could handle that. I'd get a black one and make it my familiar.
Which is familiar.
Oh, familiar is a cat who will talk to you and tell you things.
Cats are just great, aren't they? They're so, when you see those memes of like dogs, they're so dependent on you. But a cat is, whatever.
I've had my girlfriend,
like it.
13 years, Tammy had the most amazing cat, Jada, I've ever seen. It would wait for her the window side to come home from work at 5:30 on the dot. What else? She trained it to go on the toilet.
No.
So we wouldn't need it wouldn't need that litter box.
I've seen that, and I thought that's got to be fake.
She started off with putting the cat box on the toilet seat, and then she put down some like saran wrap, so the cat would go up on it, and then she took the saran wrap away, and pretty amazing.
But, actually, because I've only ever seen that in, what was that film? Is it Meet the Fockers, where Robert De Niro trains his cat to go on the toilet? Yeah. I thought that was a joke. I didn't think that was real. I didn't think people could really do that.
You'll have to search for it on YouTube now.
I will. That will really.
The only thing that's going to happen is when your cat gets much older, and it's not the cat's nature to eliminate that way. Their nature says, find something soft, dig a hole, use it, cover it. That's and that's what they really like to do. And a lot of cat experts say, the cat is, even with litter boxes, accommodating its people a lot, because that's not. So he says, give them what they want, which is a litter box. But
yeah, I've had cats. I had cats in the past. I had a cat for 18 years when I lived at home, and again when she left us, it just broke my heart. It absolutely broke my heart. It's just so heartbreaking, isn't it, when you lose them? And then I had 4 cats when I was in my 20s, when I lived back in the flat that I had, and they were great. They were fantastic. But again, they leave your life. They don't stay long enough. I'll probably end up getting another cat or something.
What I'm looking into
is that the shelter has so many cats.
Yeah, they do.
That are in need of a home where they can be loved and cherished. And they don't live forever, but
I know you can't give them a good home.
Now, the thing I worry about more is that, that my oldest cat lived for 20 years. And, I'm 58 now, and I got some young cats. I'm like, okay, how old am I going to be when they pass away? And then I would not outlive the other ones. So,
you will. You're going to live forever, Greg.
Well, probably, but maybe not.
You are. You are.
You know what?
This is just...
I'm going to get this in. You know what I've researched, and I'm thinking about buying too, is a robotic dog. You can get them for like under $100. Robotic dog. You can teach it to do tricks, and it's kind of like Alexa's dog.
Like an eye dog.
You gotta watch out, because some of I've seen these. They're not quite robotic cats, but they're sort of robotic cats that have very realistic fur, and their real purpose is for senior centers where you have someone with dementia. Yeah, the thing is, they still like the feeling of cuddling with the cat, but they have no ability to take care of one.
Right, it's just a mouse in my pocket, George. It's just a mouse in my pocket. I just like feeling it.
Yeah. That's but this is really sad, because you're trying to help someone.
Oh yeah. I was just throwing a Mice and Men reference in there.
I know you're throwing Mice and Men. Oh, here's Bad saying she's getting The Fisherman, which is an excellent short little horror novel. She's getting that Friday.
Oh, wow. I've not heard of that. Who wrote that?
John Langan, Langan.
Do you know, I've had so many good recommendations since I've been on BookTube. And that is all I spend my money on now. It's just books. You know, they've just piled up and piled up and piled up. And I'm thinking, at some point, I have got to actually start reading them.
Well, that's why I do the 100-year challenge every year, where I tell me no more books until I read 100 that I own.
Oh, that would take me about 100 years. I'd be dead before I'd make 100.
we did it 100-book challenge the year before, and this year we had levels because I was with Ollie and he can read super fast, and I don't have a job, so I can read a lot. So 100 books for us, 3 months, no problem.
That's really good. That's amazing.
Other people, they have to think it's going to be a 25-book challenge or a 50.
Yeah, I can do 25.
You see, you adjust the challenge to your circumstances in your life. So
I always set myself a Goodreads challenge, and I've been doing it for about 11 years or however long it is I've been on Goodreads. And every year I try to increase it. I mean, obviously I've had years where I've read absolutely nothing, or I've not recorded that I've not put it in Goodreads that I've read. But the last few years, I've certainly been up in my game. This year, I said I was going to read 40 books, and that's quite a reach for me. But you know what? I think I'm sort of quite on my way. I'm well over halfway. And but I did find that with the event, the June on the Range, whilst I really did enjoy the Westerns that I did read, I have to be completely honest with you. I don't think Westerns are my genre. I don't, and I would dip into another Western without a shadow of a doubt, but I didn't plan it properly. I planned on doing it, reading Westerns, where I think really you just need to dip in and out of it. And then because I felt like I was in a bit of a slump afterwards, and so I slipped a horror in there because I just had to, but horror's not actually my thing. I read everything, but I like classics. That's what I really like. And just very sort of, just vintage classics. That's what I like. I like to
maybe next June on the Range we can read Dances with Wolves is a great novel.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning that.
The novel's really good.
Yeah, you said that this time round, Alan. I wasn't even aware that it was. I've never even seen the film. I've no interest in seeing the films. I'm a bit like Greg. If I read the book, I'm not really that bothered about watching the film because I get a picture in my head of what something's like, and I don't want that ruined. And I did that once with my favourite book, which was The Great Gatsby. I read that. I absolutely loved it. And then I stupidly put the Netflix on or whatever it was. And there was Leo DiCaprio. And I was like, no, you've just totally ruined it for me now. It killed it, because now when I read it, yes, marvellous. See, you've got the movie tie in there. It just now, whenever I think of The Great Gatsby, or if I wanted to reread it, I'd be thinking of him, and I don't want that.
You don't want that image.
I don't want. No, exactly, Greg. I don't want that image. I had my own image.
I do too. I'm kind of rare that I don't watch a lot of movies, and don't like it, and I'm very vocal about it. A lot of people just say, well, I don't watch movies, but I don't mention it. But
no, but that's fine. That you'd rather read, wouldn't you? You'd rather read, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. I don't think.
Oh, so here's a comment from MJ. We're kind of behind. I'm so happy Netty got her channel started. Netty, tell us how BookTube has been going for you since you started your channel.
Oh, well, the last time I looked, I think I had about 80-something subscribers. I don't even really look, to be honest.
You have 89.
Oh, do I? Oh, thank you, Alan.
89.
Bless you. At least someone's on top of it. Because
Moving out.
for me, it was, oh, bless you. It was really all about just having fun. I really wanted to have fun, and I really just wanted to be myself and just talk to the I mean, it's great just talking to yourself on the camera, because you have, you know, I tried to talk to Simon about things, and he sort of developed this sort of far away look in his eye, which I do understand, because, you know, I'm exactly the same when he tries to tell me about his cycling routes. I go, yeah, skip to the end. And, you know, we're just not interested in each other's hobbies, and that's absolutely fine. But I found that it was becoming so bad for me that I needed an outlet, and I was watching YouTube all the time, and it was MJ said to me, "Come on, you know, you can do a channel." And I was, oh yeah, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I want to put myself out there. And then I thought, oh, do you know what? I've got nothing to lose. You know what? You know, I don't have to. I can do it the way I want to do it, and so I did. And I've met some lovely, lovely people.
It is. It's amazing. I mean, I started the same way, and for took me almost a year for me to crack 100 subscribers.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
I
mean, it's just takes a while, you know.
I think I'm just a complete idiot, really.
No,
and people just like
people
just like seeing me go, oh, what's this? Oh, you know, when I'm doing my unboxing, because that is me. That is absolutely just me. I couldn't make it up even if I tried. You know, I mean, when I do buy books and, you know, I end up buying two of the same, that is what I'm like. I'm an absolute moron. And I tell you what, you know, that in one of my videos I did an unboxing and I got some fudge. Do you remember, Alan? I got some Cornish fudge.
The abominable book.
That's right. And I said, oh, Cornish sea salt. What does that mean? Does it mean that, you know, they took the sea salt out of down in Cornwall? Now, I really was absolutely flummoxed by this, because I thought, well, why, you know, they say they put sea salt in things. And I happened to mention this to my friend. The one I said about horses' hooves being made of wood, that one, the one that's never let me forget it, right? That one. And she said, well, of course they take salt out of the sea in Cornwall. And I said, but we're an island. Does it really matter where the sea salt comes from? Because if you're taking what difference does it make? I just couldn't get my head around it. And she said, well, for a start, they're not. I said, why can't they make fudge and put Worthing, made with Worthing sea salt or Brighton sea salt, you know? Because we're an island. I just couldn't get my head around it. And she said, well, maybe it's because we're got loads of pollution down, you know, where people emptying the sewers and everything down where we are. So, you know, maybe their sea is clearer down there than what it is down here. But yeah, it's things like that that just blow my mind. And I don't care about sort of showing it on camera. I don't know whether I should edit those things out and make myself sound a bit more intelligent.
You know, just be yourself, and
I am.
Eventually, you'll get a boost to your subscriptions and or not. I mean, it's just
it really doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't matter to me. I just enjoy doing it, and I like talking. You know, I've got a very small circle, and I'm happy with that. That's absolutely fine. And you know, I mean, I'm not going to appeal to everybody. Like, you know, people like certain things, don't they, on BookTube or YouTube or whatever, and that's absolutely fine. But as long as you're having fun with it and you're just being yourself and you're not offensive and you're just pleasant and nice and supportive of other people, more than anything, I want to support other people as well, you know, because I think that's really important. Even if you're just a nobody, it doesn't matter. Just if somebody, you know, you just leave a comment for somebody, because it means a lot, doesn't it? When people comment on mine, it means something, you know. They've taken the trouble to comment. I don't even care if they haven't even really watched it all the way through. It doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah, it just. I mean,
I know what you mean.
I'm the same way. It's like you know, it's like there's no one really to talk books with.
No.
I mean, there is technically a book club in the community, and went there for a while, but you know, it's not the same thing. You don't really gel. They're not really book people. There's people say, "Oh, let's join a book group and read one book a month." It's not something meaningful to them. And if I were to go to them and say, "Oh, look at these books that I hauled out of a used bookstore," they go, "Oh, why?"
Yeah.
You know, they would not be interested in digging in and finding paperbacks from hell that's not hella expensive.
I know. Well, it was Grady Hendrix's the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires that actually led me to Paperbacks from Hell. It was reading that book. I went away. My daughter and I, we went off to Lanzarote last year. We only went for a few days, just the two of us. And it's not a beach read, is it? It really isn't. But I downloaded it on my Kindle and I couldn't put it down. And I loved the fact that horror, for me, has got those vintage vibes, even though they're written now. And that's what I really like about those Grady Hendrix books, is that they give me those vintage feels that you know, you feel very nostalgic when you read them, because and that's what I really liked about it, you know. And that's what led me to then buy the Paperbacks from Hell book of his, and then start leafing through all of that. And I think that's when I'm not sure if I'd started watching Ollie's channel before that. I might have done. I can't remember. But then that's how it all sort of started, really. So, you know. But I mean, as a rule, I'll read anything. I'm not just one specific thing. But I like books that lead me to other books. Do you know what I mean? That like I really like I love books that mention other books, which makes me then get those books. Like a couple of years back, I read it's a modern book actually called You by Carolyn Kepnes, and it's actually a Netflix show. And in that, the main character works in a bookshop, and so he mentions a lot of books. And as a direct consequence, there was one of the books that he mentions that I bought and I read, and I absolutely loved it. And it's called Desperate Characters. I can't think who the...
Oh, Pauline Fox?
Yes, that's it. Pauline Fox. Do you know, that is what kicked me off onto a pathway of so many different books. I really, really enjoyed that. It's just a sort of stream of consciousness. Really, there's nothing really to it. It's just a couple, and you know, I can't really remember a great deal about it, but she gets gets a cat scratch, that's it, and she's worried she's going to get rabies, and there's just conversations going on between her and her husband, and she just doesn't feel quite happy or satisfied with life. And it was just a really good book. And yeah, so I like books that lead you to other books. You know, I mean, or take you down rabbit holes and, you know, make you research things a bit more. A bit like what Thomas Pynchon does, really, I suppose.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to catch up on some comments here because we are a little behind, of course.
Oh, my goodness. I didn't even know anyone was watching.
Oh, yeah. You got so bad. How excited you are, Netty. What kind of ideas or books are you bringing to Garm? Oh, Garbagus. I think, and you mentioned the two books.
I'm so excited for Garb August. I'm so excited. I've got another one.
I'm also going to be reading this book for Garb August.
Ooh.
And Dad sent me this. So you're talking about nostalgia? I read a lot of Dean Koontz when I was a youngster.
I read that book 90s.
What, that Dean Koontz one?
I read it earlier than that. But
I think it was published in the early 90s, so.
I don't mind Dean Koontz. His old stuff was all right. Phantoms, Twilight Eyes.
Yeah,
I thought they were quite...
I read some of his newer, he went to a more thriller, and I just sort of stopped reading them.
Yeah, I just got a bit
bored. Published till 93, but
yeah.
Yeah, it's. I remember reading it when I was a youngster. So, well, I wasn't quite as young as I thought. But anyway, it's gonna bring back memories. So
Yep.
thanks, Bad, for this.
You'll
And,
enjoy that, you will.
Yeah, what were you holding up, Nettie?
It's called Candy. It's by
Candy.
Terry Southern, but he's under a different name.
Oh, wow. Nice cover.
Yeah.
Very
It's
Southern.
Brilliant.
Terry Southern. He wrote
He wrote
he wrote a
a
book called-
big Blue movie, which is like a dirty movie, a dirty book about making dirty movies.
possibly.
I read it, part of it in high school, so you know,
know.
a long time ago.
Yeah, he wrote one called Red Dirt Marijuana. He wrote that, and I've had that on my bookshelf for about 25 years and haven't read it. So, but no, this one he wrote under the name Maxwell Kenton, and yeah, it's weird, you know, because this book Candy, it's strange because I've got another one. Hold on a second, I'll be back in a minute.
You know, Nettie's I'm gonna tag you in the curio tag. I bet you have a lot of like curiosities around your bookshelves. I'll tag you next Tuesday.
Oh, I love a bit of took me. Yeah. Do you like do you like my purchase today? Look, I'm so excited about it. New mop. It's the little things in life that just make me so happy. But there's this book. I don't know if you can see that. Look at that amazing font. It's called The New Erotic Humor. Right?
Oh man.
Can you see that?
I can see that.
Oh yeah.
And it's really weird because in here it's got a story called Candy, written by Maxwell Kenton.
Ah.
But
Wow.
which is Terry Southern, this one.
Right.
But hold on, Maxwell Kenton. It's only about 15 pages long, so it can't be the book, can it? It must just maybe.
That's an interesting. Wow, that's really interesting cross-reference.
Yeah, it's really strange, isn't it? But I just really liked I like the cover, and I thought it'd be quite good for Garb August. Oh, you've got a mop as well.
Yeah, I'm way ahead of you, Nettie.
Oh, I'm jealous. Oh, it's the same as mine. Look at that.
I'm not going to go get my. I have a mop in the room right over
come
there.
on, Greg, get your mop out. Look, we've got matching mops.
Yeah, they're called Swiffer sweepers over here. They're called Swiffer sweepers because my floors are the fake wood.
I'm so happy with mine. Look, but Greg,
what?
I'm not even joking. I've got one of those as well. I've got one of them as well. I've got one of those mops, Greg, and I've decided I bought that one today because I thought, well, that one I have to keep changing the batteries on it all the time. So I thought if I got this one, who'd have thought, eh? Then I don't have to keep buying that stuff that goes in it, and this one is all look.
Yes,
finger power. Finger power.
Mine. I like mine.
Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. Who'd have thought we'd be talking about mops on a book?
I tell you, you'll never know what John O'Hara.
Oh,
looks a bit sexy. That's a bit sexy, that one.
He was a rather serious author. Appointment in Samara, I have.
Oh, look at that.
I have.
That's a great book.
With a semi-naughty cover. Hold on.
Let me read this about this. This is going to be a good tie-in, Nettie. A 20th century classic. Appointment in Samara is the first and most widely read book by the writer Fran Lebowitz called The Real F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Wow.
Because he was an alcoholic, but he's all like about those hard drinking writers, you know, kind of Hemingway-esque. But yeah, Hemingway liked him a lot.
He wrote Butterfield 8 as well, didn't he?
Now, I mean, Austin has trash. Now look at that cover. That's just.
I love that.
She's
Oh,
just
Oh
geez.
my
sitting on his
goodness! There's a
knee.
woman all draped all over him. Look, in his lap, head in his lap. Look,
And he's all dressed up in his suit. And I think she's got a belly button ring or something like that.
Oh, wow. Oh, I got one too.
No. And this was 1960.
Belly button ring.
That's amazing. My daughter's just gone and got her belly button pierced. Not my decision. I was absolutely like, no, it's nothing to do with me. I'm not getting
Who
involved.
does? But Honey does?
Yeah, she went and got
Oh,
it done
yeah.
a couple of weeks ago.
Those are sexy.
A novel of a crime of passion.
Oh.
Wow, look at that. That's brilliant. But John O'Hara, I've got another book of his here. I didn't realise. I've got the New York Stories. That's John O'Hara. And Butterfield 8. That's a really, really old one.
It's really famous too.
Yeah. So, yeah. But he obviously decided he wanted to do a bit of filth.
Or someone who put on the cover said it's filth.
Well, yeah, it's
Wow.
probably not. It's probably really tame in comparison, but
Probably this crime of passion book, I think, will be extremely tame compared to what Garbagas material.
yeah. I mean, I just love the idea of being completely unafraid to I just read what I want anyway, really. I don't really care what people think. But I did get my step back. Look.
Oh, you got Lupe or Lupe.
I did.
Oh, yeah, Lupe. I remember you showing that.
Are you gonna read that for Garbagas with MJ on?
I am, because I saw you got that one, Greg, and I thought, oh yeah, let's see if I can get hold of that one. So yeah, I've definitely, that's a must, that one.
Lupe.
Yeah. Look at that creepy kid.
I know.
He's horrible, isn't he?
Scares me.
Look, it's frightening you, Alan. Look, it's coming for you.
Dad's talking to me about, you're talking about the guy who won the Garbagas t-shirt giveaway. He just did a video today showing off his t-shirt.
Oh,
That's cool.
That's fabulous.
Now here's Fred asking me a question. All those books you've bought in your lifetime, do you think you'll be able to read them all?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you will.
Well, I have to stop.
No, he doesn't think so. No.
I have to stop buying them because I can read about 200 books a year now that I'm retired, which includes audiobooks.
Right. Okay.
So, about 50 some odd audio, so 150 books a year.
Wow.
I
But
can't
still-
do audiobooks. I've really tried. I really want to. I really want to like
I
them.
do audiobooks too, but I
Oh.
read at the same time, and we've talked about audiobooks all the time, but
I can do that, Alan. I can read and listen at the same time. I can do that. But for me, it's the narrator, because I have a narrator in my head and it never matches up unless it's an autobiography, where I started to read Dave Grohl's autobiography, The
I read that.
Storyteller. And
Yeah, that's
it's
good.
him reading it, and that I can cope with, because he's the person that has written the book.
he's really funny too. He's really humorous.
Yeah, but I'm not a massive. I don't massively read autobiographies. I do like them, but I just prefer to read things that are not real. Really, you can escape.
Well, Netty, if you want to get into audiobooks, my suggestion is, I presume your libraries probably have audiobooks you can download.
Yeah.
Download a book that you've read before and like. Just a book you're familiar with, that you've read a few times or maybe one time and want to reread. So it's familiar to you already.
Right.
And then just get used to listening to it instead of reading the words.
Right. Okay.
And that's how I started. I mean, I started quite by accident with 1984. Because back when I was single, I used to work for a bookstore. And I was sort of friends with the manager, and he got promoted to the book buying department, where he got lots of sample books for free. And the bookstore says you can bring in the books and trade them in, not for money, but for store credit. And he wanted to move one day. He said, "Can you help me move my books?" I said, "Yeah." So he gave me a bunch of books to trade in. And one of them was the unabridged cassette tapes of 1984.
Right.
But the store didn't carry them. So they couldn't accept it for store credit. So I could take it to a used bookstore and get a couple bucks. For whatever reason, I just started listening to it. And, it was cassette tape car only, 1995-ish. No. Yeah, 1995-ish, somewhere around there. And it worked for me. So that's what I suggest. If you want to try to get into it, just go to the library and pick out something that you like already.
Yeah.
And see how it works. And it's no commitment. It's a library book. So it's like.
Yeah, that's true, actually. That's quite a good idea. Like I said, for me, it's just the narrator. I have my own voice in my head, and I just, if it doesn't connect well with the book, I get really distracted really easily. And I find myself just sort of drifting off. A friend of mine said, "Oh, just put some earbuds in, and when you're doing your housework," she said, you listen to the radio. But I'm exactly the same with podcasts. I can't focus on a podcast for very long before I start to drift away. But I will give that a go, Greg. I will. I'll try it.
Yeah, I can just read a lot faster with an audiobook too. I always read on 1.5 speed. And the Libby app, Libby. I don't know if they have it in England. They probably
do.
Oh, you do? Yeah, I like that. I found like LibriVox, for me, I don't like the narrators on that.
LibriVox.
Now, I know that they're amateurs and that, but still,
they're volunteers. But there's still some excellent LibriVox narrators. But I would not start with LibriVox. It's not a place to start.
I think what it is now I quite like the immersive experience of an audio book. So where you get, like, if you was, for example, reading a Western, you'd have like the gunfight, that he would say, and he pulled out his gun and he fired it, and then you'd hear the shots. Do you know what I mean? Like, you get like a sort of an immersive experience. And I think there are more of those coming out. For some people, that's obviously not going to work, but I'm not sure whether or not that would work better for me, having that immersive experience,
We might as well get the virtual reality goggles too.
Yeah, like horses' hooves, galloping and things like that. Just some sound effects, maybe. I'm not sure. You can hear with some coconuts going like that, being recorded.
Right. Let me see. Say hi to Roy. Roy reads anything.
Hey, Roy.
I'm really way behind on the comments because we keep talking.
Goodness me.
And say hello to Shannon. Bookish.
Hi,
Music.
Shannon.
Oh, hey, Shannon.
She did the Secret World of the Sex Witches just recently.
Oh, yes. Right. You did, didn't you, Shannon? How did you find it? I don't know what happened to ours. I sent it to Michelle, but Michelle might be busy, so she may not have got round to reading it yet. But that was such a good book. I love that. Oh, God, that was so good.
And so read by Fred. Cats are evil. I've seen so many Instagram videos where cats are purposely being mischievous. Hilarious stuff. My cats are mischievous, but they're also very loving.
Everyone go out and get Shannon's book.
Here's MJ. Oh. She's team dog. MJ's got her Watson.
Yeah. I love Watson. He's so cute.
Oh, yeah. He's
great.
He's got a very expressive face.
Yeah, my trigger was like that. He would have loved it.
Penetrating eyes, too. Great eyes. Watson. Oh,
And
wow.
Shannon, I've had many cats and now a dog. I love both.
Yeah,
And they're
very different.
I used to have a dog with my cats, but my dog passed away, and we tried to adopt another dog, a little dachshund, but she was a cat chaser.
Yeah.
My dog was more like one of my kids, really. I just honestly, he was just like one of the children. Oh dear, loved him.
And I'm just going through. I'm not commenting on where they're talking back and forth. I'm just looking for comments that they're talking to us.
Oh,
I'm going straight edge, strict for challenge November, and I have to say, my way, too many loopholes. Oh, I think she's talking about the 100 book challenge.
oh,
Well, the problem is when I do the challenge, I have to sort of have loopholes because it'll run into the BookTube prize that I always do every year. You know, I judge for the book, and I just don't have those books. Yeah, here he is.
Shannon said hi, Netty.
me too, Fred. 3 to 4 years. Try about 10 years for me.
Oh, yeah. I can do the 25 challenge.
Well, you know, there's a comment Ollie did today because he did a Q&A on how he reads so many books.
I haven't watched it yet.
But his comment was he just reads.
Yeah, he doesn't watch telly or anything, does he?
He doesn't watch TV or play video games, and I don't watch TV or play video games either, so.
You paint, Alan. Look at that. That's lovely.
Oh, actually, it goes like that. I did that yesterday. But yeah, I'm always painting or drawing or something.
Here you go, Netty. Shannon's going to subscribe to you.
Oh, thank you, Shannon. That's lovely. Be lovely to have you.
Almighty Ohm 93.
Yeah.
I know. I've been probably lost the train of thought where that 93 goes to.
That's for Al.
Wait, I'm always subscribed to her. Takes a while for subs. I'm still trying to get everything.
I'm not worried. I'm just not worried.
Don't worry about it. You know something?
No.
You know, if it happens, it happens. Or you could be like Ollie, who was a little more than me. Then all of a sudden, he got phenomenally popular with one video and just his channel
my goodness!
blew up.
Oh, that was that book. That Notice. That book Notice, wasn't it? Yeah.
He had more than me still, but it just took off.
Yeah.
The algorithm said, I'm going to show this video to everyone. And everyone started describing, and they start more and more and more. And it really, I mean, I've had some videos like normally about now 180 to 250 is about normal, which is actually getting a little high. It's been a little higher than usual. But every now and then I'll get one that goes like 1,500. I'm going like, why?
Wow. And what do they generally tend to be about, Greg? They can be anything, yeah?
Anything. It's just a subject. I did a tag video about like a Western canon, the 20 books I've read, and for whatever reason it took off. It wasn't particularly insightful or well done. It just took off. And I got like 30, 40 subscribers out of it. So it was like amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I just like talking about the books that I buy, really, and the books that I like reading. I mean, and, you know, I just think if anybody wants to sort of watch that, then that's fine. You know, I just don't worry about it. I don't really take anything too seriously.
You know, really, I have friends that I've made with my little channel, and
it's
Alan
lovely.
And it is. I mean, you don't need 25,000 subscribers. I mean, I'm not monetized, even though I could.
I just feel, wouldn't you feel, I would feel extreme pressure if I had that amount of people relying on me. But some people like that pressure, don't they? And they thrive on it, but not me. I'd be worrying about it. I'd be thinking, oh my goodness me, I've got to, and then it wouldn't be fun anymore.
You're right.
And it wouldn't be fun.
That's
Have
why
you met Ali in person?
now the only thing that I've heard about the monetization is that you have a little more control over the ads that go in your videos.
Oh, I
Oh.
see.
Now you see, I pay for the subscription premium subscription service, so I never see ads.
No,
But,
that doesn't
but
mean
no,
anything.
but people tell me that they see ads on my channel, and I go like, I'm not signing up for any of this. That is just YouTube putting
Yeah,
ads. And I said, if I decided to monetize, I could say like no mid-roll ads,
right.
and that gives me a little more control. I mean, the amount of money I would get is really buy a few books a month, maybe, which is nice, but I don't want that pressure to have to think about.
No, I don't either. I run away from all of that sort of thing. No,
Well, the only other thing that is that YouTube would then become a tax write-off for me.
right.
I could buy a book and say I have a business doing YouTube videos and read books. Tax write-off. I swear. I mean, I used to work with a guy who kept pestering me to start a home-based business. And he thought I would. This is way before YouTube, but doing computer stuff. I go, I don't want to do that. He goes, well, you don't have to make money. You just have to run a business for 3 years, lose it, and then close it down and start a new business. He was a tax cheat.
Yeah,
he was
tax dodger.
He was one of those people who will do anything to save. He would spend 5 cents to not pay the IRS 1 cent.
Oh,
I mean, because what happened is we would go out to lunch. We would go out to lunch, and then he'd go, "Oh, I got to stop at the bookstore. Look at the business books. Don't have what I want." And I go, "Why are you doing that?" He says, "Well, now this trip is a business trip because I looked for a business book for my business, and I can write off the mileage and the gas."
Yeah, that's weird. That's fun. That's an interesting character.
It is. I mean, and he was so funny. I don't know if it's true or not, but he says the IRS can only audit you once every 7 years. And he said, so what he did is he made the IRS audit him. He said, now I can do whatever I want for 7 years and they can't audit me.
God.
I mean, he was serious dodging taxes.
Hey, before I forget, I want to ask Netty, have you ever met Ali in person?
No.
Oh, but you guys live close by.
Yeah, Ollie only lives he only lives up the road. He's about 10 minutes from me.
Yeah.
Along the coast. But no, I haven't met Ollie in real life.
A lot of people live in that area. Sussex, like Gareth lives around there.
Does he?
And Roz.
Dane does. He lives in Brighton, doesn't he?
No, I think Dane lives in London. I thought Dane Cobain.
Oh, I've got that wrong then. I thought
I could be wrong, but yeah. So I long to see Venice, Italy for Dante, and I long to go back to Erie, to Ireland. And but I think first I'd probably go to like Brighton or around your area and just see all you guys. And take the train to London, and that'd be really coolio, huh?
Brighton, London is literally like 50 minutes away from Brighton. You get on the train, you're there, But
I bet Greg will beat me. I bet Greg's going to do it before me.
Well, I have to convince the wife that we do a vacation to England one year instead of a vacation to a beach. So.
Yeah, she wants to do Bermuda again, huh?
Not Bermuda. She wants to do the Panama Canal next year.
Oh, that's right.
Bad.
Yeah. That's right.
Bad is rad. I love Bad.
Oh, is she leaving?
No.
Oh, yeah.
This is a comment.
She's just lovely.
Oh, yeah, Bad's great.
Yeah, she is. She does the most amazing artwork as well, like you, Alan.
Yeah.
I think her editing skills are out of this world. But yeah, she's a good friend. I talk to her about every day. Gonna
So
send her
there
a
is.
surprise next week in the mail.
So Shannon says Desperate Characters is on my wish list for exactly that reason.
It's brilliant. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. And I haven't read all the you books, but I really struggle with modern fiction, modern literature. I always find I'm really disappointed. That's why I've gone down that horror route, because, as I say, the horror doesn't have the same formats as a lot of the modern fiction does these days. There's like these Taylor Jenkins Reid books. Whilst everybody raves about them, I'm not terribly keen, if I'm completely honest.
I've never read a Taylor Jenkins Reid book.
Oh well, I liked Daisy Jones and the Six.
Oh, that's
probably
one.
Yeah, probably because it had that 70s vibe to it, really, and it was quite well done in the respect that you feel like you're reading a documentary where people are being interviewed. That was quite good. But her other books, I've read a couple of others, and they've just fell a bit flat for me. And I've found that a lot of books these days do this thing where they're in the present, and then they go into the past, and then they go into the present again, they go into the past. And that's great as a sort of one-off, but when it seems like every single book does it, it gets a bit boring. But that's why I've sort of gone down the sort of that's why I like reading vintage books, really, and I like horror for that reason, is that horror writers seem to write just horror. They don't do this backwards and forwards thing, I hope I've
Robert R. McCammon is a great horror writer, but I like his Boy's Story, or and then he did two just regular fiction, not horror, that I really like too. But I hear what you're saying, Netty, and I tend to agree. But I read like new books too. Now this is
I do.
2018. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm butting in.
No. But Brian at Bookish turned me out of this. I haven't read it yet, but I plan to. So I get like new books recommendations from the library too.
Yeah, I volunteer at a library on a Thursday.
Yeah.
I've had actually a bit of a success story with the library, because a few months ago I went for a job at the library and I didn't get the job, but I'm not giving up. So another interview came up and I went for another interview. This was my fourth interview for the library. And whilst I didn't get the job, I have actually been offered casual work. Now, the libraries are notoriously hard to get into in the UK, especially around here, because they're quite institutionalized. There's a lot of people that work there that have been working there for very, very many years, and they don't really leave. So that says that they like being there, obviously. So it is quite hard to get a job. But the best way to do it is, first of all, by volunteering, gives you an idea of what it's like, and then taking on casual work. So they've offered me actual paid casual work. So I've taken that, and I'm going to do that. And I just got to give them my availability, really. I could actually pack my job in now that I've got and probably take that chance and do the casual work, but I can't risk it. I've got to have something permanent, because I'd just be worrying about it all the time. So I've just got to see how it goes. But yeah, it's a step in the right direction. So I was really pleased that they offered me casual work. So, that's how most people start off with the library. They start off by doing casual relief work, and then they work their way in, when jobs come up. So
I was glad to hear that for you, because I remember doing a tarot reading.
You predicted that, didn't you, Alan? I was so pleased.
You got a really good cards. I remember you got the Nine of Cups, which is the wish card.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you got, and that's,
your-
you got what you wanted.
I got my wish. I did. Yes.
That's cool.
I volunteer at the library too. I do. I have in the past. I don't do it currently, but I would do the holds where I'd have to go find the books and
Yeah.
then put them in the computer, and then it's print out a thing like this.
That's right. And then yeah.
Then I'm the one who puts it in the book and puts it in the. I call that fun.
Yeah, they're just lovely places, aren't they? Libraries. They're just
Yeah.
they're just
Well, then
nice places.
I get to work at the library sale too, which is like twice a year. So I do the book sale. Can you see that?
Ah. Yeah, I think so. Oh yes, I can. Yeah.
But I always like the
Alan,
libraries.
what is that on your T-shirt?
Oh, that's a Yeti.
It is. It's a Bigfoot. Do you know what? I keep getting followed around by Bigfoot everywhere.
Yeah, I break for Yeti.
That's a fantastic T-shirt. I love that.
Yeah, my dad. I bought it for my father too.
That's brilliant.
So we're twines.
Oh.
But I love libraries and always have since I was a kid. God, I do a big escape. Reading's always been an escape for me.
Oh, me too. Whenever I've had, bad times in my life, the best way to plow through it is by reading.
Well,
just
not only that, but
takes you away.
I would start like reading a book at 10 o'clock, and then I'd look at the clock again. It'd be noon. I go,
Yeah.
well, WTF? Where'd the time go?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me catch up with the comments again. Faulkner August is MJ. Tee reading my first Faulkner as a trash palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Shannon. LOL. My mop is like that, but lime green. You see how far back my comments are? Let me catch up.
Oh my goodness.
Go ahead and catch up.
On live show.
Thank you, Bud.
Fred, hey.
There's a lot of trash in Faulkner, though.
We're watching MopTube. Is that a thing? Well, maybe MopTube will be a thing after tonight. It is now. MJ,
MopTube.
Guys, hello, Gareth. Sorry,
Hello,
it's taking
Gareth.
us half an hour to say hi to you.
Sorry, Gareth. Oh.
What were we talking about, Gareth? I was talking about he lives around Brighton and by the sea. He lives by the sea.
So, hey, Gareth, you missed MopTube. TV mop video. I do have a mopping video, actually, a short. It's with my cat, because one of my cat, Bella, will attack my mop if I mop the floor.
Good for you, Bad.
Bad, yeah. I still have my belly pierced, and I'm 39.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Ooh, Bad does. I'm not surprised at that. Belly buttons are sexy.
Mop
They
it.
wouldn't be sexy on my belly, Alan.
Here's Gareth saying we're moppets.
Belly buttons are sexy on everybody.
Not on mine. I promise you.
Oh man, this is too good. I wish I got this earlier on.
The Muppet Show. Who said that? That's
Hello,
brilliant.
Don Silver. It looks like
that's
Richard
brilliant.
Sherman, 7-year itch on the paperback edition of that O'Hara book. Yay for Loop. Now, is that Loop or Lupe, you think?
Lupe.
You think it's going to be pronounced Lupe?
Lupe.
No. I'm going to say Lupe because it sounds a bit posher.
It sounds a bit, it's found, if it's set in New York and he's Hispanic or whatever, it'd be Lupe maybe. I'm with you. The narrator is a lot because the voice.
My friends call me Loop. My friends call me Loop.
Netty. Audio.
You can call me Lupe. My friends call me Loop.
I'm sorry. I'm going through these comments kind of fast because I'm really behind. I was just saying that I feel that educational books should be given as a text, ebook, and audiobook, and each student to teach themselves to use. That's not a bad idea.
Oh, yeah.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
Al, it takes practice, like when we're learning to read. Yeah, audiobooks is just getting used to it. Just got to practice.
I'm straining to read the comments, and why don't I just move the tripod nearer? What an idiot.
Hello, Jim reads too slow.
Hey, Jim, are you in
Jim.
Portland yet? Jim's supposed to visit me tonight.
Reasonable. It's about 4 books a week. When you're retired, it's reasonable for I installed my last audiobook app on the planet Libby, and some are better than others. Yep. Thank you. Watson has the best eyeliner.
He's beautiful. I love Watson.
Yep.
Hey, Jim, are you in Portland yet, Jim? Jim, he's going to visit me tonight. We're going to go to Powell's and meet up at Powell's.
Oh, that'd be cool. I'm jealous. I want to go to Powell's.
I'm here for the community booktube fun, not a money business. I can't upload a video a day. That is too much for me.
Yeah.
I don't know how some booktubers do it, but it'd be awesome if they can.
It is. It's great for us who watch, but I couldn't do it myself. Not at all. I have trouble doing one.
Theoretically, I could do it, but I get distracted with other things.
Yeah.
Here's MJ. I have zero pressure. I would treat it like I do now, talking to my friends, just a lot more friends. Probably talking about having a lot more subscribers.
Yeah, I see what you mean, MJ.
Yeah, MJ's channel's taking off, and I'm glad to see her channel take off a wee bit. And yeah. I guarantee it's going to go much higher, too. Watch, I bet she's really going to take off.
So, Chris, I don't read to escape from reality. To me, that's very boring. I'm not trying to escape. Why would I? I'm all about plunging into reality. Art is an illusion which brings reality into sharper focus.
Wow.
Oh, I like that.
I think reality is for people who can't handle drugs.
You're bad. I think my husband would miss me if I 100% dedicated my time to BookTube, editing, and everything else. It's hard work. It is hard work. I have to finish editing a video tonight for Wednesday.
I think
Hey,
Simon
Brian,
would probably be
hello.
quite happy. Hello.
Gareth is in Portsmouth.
Gareth, I'm going to be down there on Thursday. I'm going to be visiting my son. So next time I'm down that way, I'll have to, we'll have to have a coffee or say hello to one another, or I'll wave to you from the spinning tower or something.
Yeah.
Jim's got to go. Train's here.
Yeah, Gareth meets up with everybody.
Oh, bye, Jim. Same to you, bud.
You do, Alan. I'm proud of your artwork you share and our everyday conversations.
Yeah.
Gareth, people saying hello to each other. Netty, when I come back next year, we're going to go thrift shop with Gareth too.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. I like a shop. I like a bit of retail therapy.
Yeah, Gareth wants to read Daisy Jones and the Six.
Daisy Jones is great, but the other one, it's a no from me, I'm afraid. And yet it's hugely popular. So, it's The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. It's a very, very popular book. It's just, it just left me a bit cold. It wasn't for me, really. It wasn't. It was quite good, but it wasn't. All her books apparently are loosely based on real people. So, read between the lines. Like Daisy Jones and the Six is supposed to be about Fleetwood Mac. And The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo are supposed to be, or allegedly, to do with Elizabeth Taylor. Jackie Collins was doing that 40 years ago, implying things, and I mean, she's trashy, but she was doing that when she was writing things like Hollywood Wives or, The World is Full of Divorced Women. rock star, all of that. She was definitely implying that they were loosely, based upon real people. So it didn't feel like anything new to me. But I suppose if you're, a lot younger and you'd never read any trash like Jackie Collins, you would enjoy something like, Taylor Jenkins Reid's book, so, fair play. I mean, it's just whatever floats your boat, really, isn't it? I suppose.
So, Shannon, I find back and forth to the past and present in books happens a lot in thrillers.
It does, Shannon. It really does. I mean, almost all the modern thrillers that I've read, they've all had that kind of premise. There was one called Reckless Girls, which I really enjoyed, by Rachel Hawkins. That's it. I had to just quickly look there, see what her last name was. That again was exactly that, backwards and forwards. And what was that one? Oh, I don't know. I can't remember what it's called now. People Upstairs or Family Upstairs or something like that. That again was exactly the same. So they were unforgettable. They were forgettable books. They weren't unforgettable. Like sometimes you read a book and they really stay with you. These were just, well, that was fun. Bye. Off to the charity shop, you must pop, that kind of thing. But I've got some more trash, actually. Shall I show you some more trash that I've got?
Yes, you should. But let me try to catch up on here's Zap. I recently retired from 25 years at the library.
Oh, did you?
Oh. Congratulations on retirement. It's fun.
Yes.
Medium John Silver. Speaking of flashbacks to the past, I'm posting this comment at 3:24 daylight time. Well, it's only 3:36, so I'm getting close to the end of my comments. A library job would be delightful.
Yeah.
The only problem is when you need the job to support yourself. Almost
exactly.
Any job becomes harder to do.
Yeah. And harder to find as well. When you really need a job, they're harder to find. But there's no pressure for me. I've already got a job. So for me, I felt like I'd done my time in the job that I'm in. And I only took on this job that I'm doing now because it fitted in with when my daughter was little. And I wanted to be around for her. And 11 years later, she's now she's going to be 15 in September. And I'm thinking, why am I still doing this job that I actually not really enjoying, and why don't I try and do something that I really want to do? What do I really like to do? I know I like reading. I know I'll go and see if I can get a job at the library, so. And I think it was a bit of trying to reevaluate my life and maybe put myself in a direction that I wanted to be in rather than something I had to be in as well, because I think I'd always done jobs as well that had come along that had done me well. I've always managed to have really good jobs, but they weren't always necessarily what I wanted to do. My job before this one was fantastic. I used to work at an allergy place, and I used to design all the labels for the allergy vials and things like that, and print those off. So I sort of ran a print room, if you like, and I was on my own, and I really enjoyed just working by myself. That was great. But then I left there to have my daughter, and then I became a full-time mum, and I was like, I just want to do something. And so I got an evening job in retail, and I'm still there. And it's been fun.
It's a pretty crazy place to work, you say.
Oh,
you went back after being away, and it was just totally different, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I've always sort of worked in IT or, sort of communications and things like that, and worked with computers and things. And then all of a sudden I was in a shop, and I thought, this would be a doddle, it'll be fine. It'll be oh my goodness me, it's the most physically demanding job I've ever done in my life. And it's just the most, most frustrating job. most frustrating job, you know, because I work in fashion as well. So, you know, whilst I've got a bit of artistic license where I can make things look good, you know, and promote it and do all that kind of stuff. But then, like 2 minutes later, the customers have come in and completely trashed everything, you know. So you're always picking it up. But do you know what? I love the customers. I really do. I mean, a lot of people hate working with the public, but I have to say the public have been amazing. And, you know, if you actually take the time, I mean, I'm always getting in trouble for talking all the time, constantly getting into trouble for it. No surprise there. But do you know what? I'd rather spend 10-15 minutes having a chat to someone who has come into the shop who might be a bit lonely, you know. And once you get to talk to people, you find out that they've actually got a lot of interesting things to say. I've ended up talking about books with people before and writing down things for them to read and all that, and they've gone off and read them and come back and, you know, oh, I read that book you said about, you know. So yeah, I like the public. I think, well, 99% of them are nice. The rest of them, well, everyone has bad days, don't they?
My part-time job is like security at concerts, or I've been doing football games here lately.
Oh yeah,
you know, so, and I can get out of myself because I have to be friendly and say thank you and please and this way and can I help you, and so it's good for me to get out of myself a little bit.
Yeah,
Can't be stuck in here reading all the time.
Yeah, that's right, and it gives, you know, a bit of human interaction. I don't, you know, I've been a party girl and I've done all of that and I've loved it, really loved it. I had such a good time. I did a lot
of traveling too, though.
Pardon?
You do a lot of traveling. You do a lot of traveling.
I have, you know, I've been to places and stuff, and I've had tremendous fun in life. You know, I've had some moments of sadness like everybody has, but I can honestly say in my 52 years I've had the most tremendous fun with most wonderful people, you know, that are still in my life, and I'm very lucky to have them. And I've got new people now as well, like Greg and Alan and Bad and MJ and, you know, and all the lovely people that I've met on YouTube. But I've got to a point where I don't want to go out anymore so much. You know, I'm not that bothered about it. You know, I'm not that fussed. I quite like being indoors with my books, you know, just being relaxed.
Well, you guys have partners too, you know, and so that helps. Have a, you know, significant other. I have a few friends and acquaintances, but most of my like activity is online. Really, I mean, it takes me an hour or two to just answer all my Voxer and YouTube email every morning. You know,
I know it is a lot of stuff to do.
Pleasure.
And then you have to. No, it is fun, but you said you've got to watch everyone's videos and catch up and make comments and.
Yeah.
I like Voxer though. It's like my ham radio. I have like a lot of friends in like Europe and Ireland and England and Czech and I'm trying to think all over.
It's getting that balance, isn't it? And I've found that when I was younger, I could never balance my home life and my social life very well. It was all or nothing. It was either I was always in and didn't do anything else, or I was always out, and I was really extreme with everything. So, you know, when I went out, I went out, you know, I really did. I was doing it, and I was on, you know, live fast, die young, you know, leave a good looking corpse. You know, I was all about that. But I feel like I've got a better work home life balance now and social life, you know, and of course, Simon works some evenings as well. So I get a bit of time to myself. I really do like that time to myself. I like being by myself, you know, as well. So, you know, but it's also, you've got to make time for the people that you live with as well, because, you know, you don't want them to feel neglected or ignored, do you? I mean, I think he'd be quite happy in mine anyway if he was out on his bike. He's out on his bike now. He's mad. He's absolutely mad. He goes for like 50,
He likes
60.
cycling, huh?
Yeah, he wears all that
He
lycra
would
and
love
stuff.
Portland. He would love Portland.
Well, you know,
That's great. Portland's
my
like
wife
total
loves
bike town.
pickleball.
Mm,
So she
it's
goes
huge.
out. I mean, she goes out when the weather's good. It's like if it's a nice evening, not too hot, hasn't rained. I know I'm on dinner on my own. She's going to go out and play pickleball, and okay.
That's nice, but you've got to. I think that's so important in relationships is that you have to give one another breathing space.
You do.
To just be able to do, you know, those things and then come together, and then, you know, you've got something to talk about or not talk about if you don't want to. I can talk to you guys now about books and I don't have to bore Simon with it. You know, he does the usual
I have that conversation with my wife when I talk about some books. You know, it's like and she talks about pickleball to me sometimes and I'm going like
I do. He was saying to me,
I want to learn how to play pickleball.
He was saying to me the other day, I went on this ride and I went down this road and I was down the A27 and then I went to and I just went, yeah, do you know what this is like for me, Simon? I said, this is like listening to somebody who plays golf telling me a hole by hole. You know, I went, just skip to the end. I'm sorry, just skip to the end. But he's all right about it, you know. He knows what I'm like. He puts up with all my eccentricities, so he's a good one.
Here's Gareth. He worked for a bookshop for 6 years.
Wow.
Jobs. Well, I worked for a bookshop 6 or 7 years too when I was in my 20s, or 2 bookstores actually.
Yeah, me too. I worked in several in Phoenix and Scottsdale area.
Gareth.
Mine was like a used one called Changing Hands. And then I worked at one called
what bookstore he worked at?
Vision Quest. But go ahead.
So getting through some more comments. Oh, there's a comment for you, Netty. Lupe means female wolf in Spanish.
Wow.
Well, I know the book is about an evil child, so maybe he'll be very wolf.
He might be. Look, he might. Look, he's got quite fingernails and stuff.
This is the most fun live stream I've seen in a while. So many laughs. Thanks, Netty and Greg. LOL mop. I might have to put a mop short up tonight.
Golf clash.
Yeah.
You were talking about golf. I love golf. I was like raised on golf.
Oh.
I love golf.
So here's Gareth.
I wish I could afford to play it again.
He has Thursday afternoons off.
Gareth, I would, but I'm meeting my son. I go to sit because not a lot of people know. Alan knows, but I've got a 27-year-old son, and my son is severely autistic. He's very, very autistic, my son, and he lives on the Isle of Wight, which is a little island just off of Portsmouth there. So once a month, he's in a residential home there for adults with severe learning disabilities and stuff. And so once a month or twice every couple of months or something like that, myself and his dad, we travel down there and we go and visit him. His carers bring him over and we take him out. It's his birthday today, actually. So no, it's not. Sorry, I've got the wrong date. His birthday's on Monday, next Monday. So we're going to go down there on Thursday and meet him and take him out for a cup of tea and cake and that. He doesn't talk, so you know it is quite hard, but you know I'd like to see him at least once a month. So you know he's still my son. You know what I mean? Right. So and he does recognize me, obviously. I mean he's you know I can get away with things with Jay that nobody else can really. Like, you know, come on, give us a cuddle, give us a kiss, you know, and all that. And he will, but no one else. He's not, you know, he's sort of, you say to him, "Are you all right, Jay?" And he'll go, "I am good." He says the same thing. He's been saying the same thing since he was about 4. So, but yeah. So, yeah, no, he's great. But yeah, I go down and see him with my first husband. I've been married twice. Look, see, I didn't get it right the first time. I didn't get it right the second time. All that stuff about relationships I said before, just ignore it, because I'm really not somebody that should give relationship advice. But
I guess I'm doing okay. I've been married 27 years.
Oh, fantastic. That's congratulations. That's amazing. That's really good. I would have still stayed married, but yeah, he didn't want to stay married to me. The second one didn't anyway. So there you go. It's just the way it is. And I'm happy now anyway. So life, don't always get it right the first time round, dear, or the second time. So.
So here's Chris. Shakespeare is the most exciting writer I've read his plays countless times. I'm never bored.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Love Shakespeare.
Oh, here's that. I used to get in trouble for talking to people at the library about books. My supervisor would always say that we have to move on. I think she was jealous.
Yeah. She is jealous because the libraries are not how you think they are now. I mean, the days of shh, be quiet, you know, all that is over. It's incredibly noisy in libraries now. You know, it's not just about books. It's a community. It's a hub, you know, for a village or whatever, where people go to meet up. I mean, last Thursday, we had 17 people in for a knit and natter group where, you know, ladies that are retired come along and they bring their crochet and their knitting and stuff. And there was 17 of them. So, you know, it was noisy and it was busy. And, you know, so, yeah, I think it's more, people are more encouraged to talk now as well. I mean, it's communication is what it's all about, really, isn't it?
I took a ukulele class at a library.
Did you?
Oh, yeah, it was, you know, really cool. They supplied the ukulele and everything.
Wow.
You know, you're talking about
library. You can take it home.
The library near me has a sign. It's like every Thursday or something, like they have a therapy dog that comes in at a certain hour.
Nice.
Oh, why can't we have a therapy dog? I might suggest it. They'll just laugh at me and go, "Don't be ridiculous."
I think it's a visiting therapy dog. It's just like comes in for an hour every week, and I have not been there when the therapy dog is there. But you know, the thing is, I hate to do therapy, but I'd love to see a therapy dog.
I need a therapy dog. I want one to move.
I hate to brag about Portland again, but you know what we have in Portland? We have therapy dogs, of course, but we also have therapy llamas. Therapy llamas. They put little carrots in the llama's teeth, and people kiss them. So like a llama kiss.
Listen,
I bet Greg would like that. Greg would put like a carrot in his mouth.
Alan, I've kissed a few frogs in my time, but I'm not kissing a llama. No way.
You know, Alan, I would probably put a carrot in my mouth and get a llama to kiss.
You would not, Greg, would you? I would not. I would not.
Just a llama.
They're a bit like camels, though, aren't they?
I don't know if I would either.
Now, the thing is,
I do like camels.
I've actually heard that llamas and alpacas can be kind of mean. I've heard
it's spit.
When we went to Lanzarote last year, my daughter and I did do camel trekking, and it was one of the most amazing things I think I've ever done. And trust me, our camel just had a personality of its own. All the others, you know, all went in a nice line. My one was, nah, come on, let's go off this way. It was like, no, come on, go back that way.
How fun.
But, they're lovely. They're lovely. They've got such, and I'll have to send you some pictures because my one just sort of looked like that. Like it had lipstick on.
Now I've ridden mules before, like mules down to the Grand Canyon. I've done that before.
Wow. Yeah, I
I've
mean,
been out to the Grand Canyon like a dozen times.
I never went to the Grand Canyon when I was in America. As I say, I went to San Diego and I stayed there.
Right.
I went over. I was talking to Schwan about it and saying that I'd gone over the Mexican border, and I went over to TJ a couple of times, and he said, "Really? Did you?" And I said, "Yeah." I said it was so different. Literally, you were in the United States, and then it's like you step over and you're into Mexico, and the difference was unbelievable. And there's that, Alan, you know, don't you, the bridge that goes over that ravine when you're in TJ?
Because of the why.
Yeah. And I mean, I walked over that bridge into Mexico, while I was in Mexico, and I looked down the ravine and I could see all the Mexicans running up the ravine to get into the United States. And there was cops waiting at the end, literally, to just grab them. I'd never seen anything like that. It was unbelievable, but what a place. I mean, it was.
In San Diego, they even use like little rafts and boats. I mean, you can build all the walls you want. They go around in the boat.
Yeah.
I lived in San Diego for 3 years. Yeah, we talked about the black and PB and OB.
Yeah.
San Diego's a shape.
Yeah, it was a. Did you when you was there, Alan? Did you ever find that that suspension bridge, that secret suspension bridge that was there? I couldn't tell you where it was. There's a secret suspension bridge there, and my friend took me, and she said to me that not many people know about this. So and it's right in the middle of like this sort of road, and you just go over this suspension bridge, and there's like these trees and that everywhere. Oh, it was lovely. It was a lovely place.
Wow,
really lovely place.
Yeah. Yeah, Greg's been there too, I think, right?
Not that part. I did visit Mexico a couple times.
No, San Diego.
Yeah, San Diego I've been in.
Yeah,
it's a fantastic place. I went twice.
I had the best Mexican food ever in San Diego, and that's saying a lot. Coming, I spent 20 years in Phoenix, but San Diego, I really like it.
The problem with San Diego is this was probably over 10 years ago. My wife had a business conference down in San Diego, and it was a week long. So I flew in on a Friday morning to join her in San Diego because she had a room, and we spent a weekend there. And then we went to Coronado Island. And we walked
that's expensive.
Well, I was about to say, we walked on Coronado Island, just walking on the sidewalk. He said, "Oh, house for sale. Let's see what it's like." And it was like a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. I think it was like 1,100 square feet, something like 1,200 square feet, $1.5 million.
Oh.
And I'm going, I don't think we can afford that.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah, it's just crazy expensive down there. Here's Gareth. He worked at Blackwell's while he was studying.
Oh, okay.
You know what people in San Diego call people in Arizona?
Southern sobers. Sobers, California sobers.
They call us zonies.
Oh, zonies.
Zonies. Yeah.
Oh.
Paul used to read only 6 books a max a year until 2018. Where necessity meets endeavor.
It doesn't matter how many books you read, as long as you're enjoying reading what you're reading. Even if you read one a month, or that's one every 2 months, isn't it? 6 a year. They might be that thick,
right?
Or might be that thick. It doesn't matter, just as long as you're enjoying it. That's the main thing.
So Gareth says, "No worries, we can meet up anytime. Big love to your son."
Oh, thank you, Gareth. We definitely will do that.
Oh, yeah, he has a 28-year-old daughter. I didn't know that.
Wow.
A wonderful
Thank
family.
you, Bad. Talking of which, my mammal's just walked in. There he is. Look, he's just come in and all dressed in lycra and all sweaty.
Yeah, from cycling.
Oh dear. So you
All
might
right.
get a bit of background noise.
It's all right. Chris, you need a degree in library science to be a librarian. It's a science.
Yeah, in
Yeah,
America.
that's true. You do. You do. That's right.
Oh, England too.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
I
you have
do.
master of science.
Yeah, you
I'd
can
love
get
to be a librarian, but
you can get a degree in it. Here's Shannon. Therapy llamas. Yes.
yeah.
Therapy llamas.
She gave us a llama emoji.
Oh, oh yeah, I can just about see that.
There is a local alpaca farm that has
Actually,
therapy sections for kids.
we've got one here as well. Actually, with llamas. It's at the back of where I work. There's like a centre where there's horses for for children with special needs and stuff like that. So I assume that the llamas are probably the same for the same similar type of thing. Yeah, I do
I have
see.
a question
Very
for
similar
Netty.
as an animal.
Netty, have you ever tried doing goat yoga?
Are you winding me up?
Yeah, where you do yoga like a downward dog, and you have like goats jumping on your back and stuff.
No,
Yeah, that's a thing out here and in Cali now. Goat yoga.
really.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of anything worse than having a goat jumping on my back. That must really hurt.
I don't think I want
I don't
to
know.
go
I'm a Capricorn, so I just love tiny little goats. They're tiny goats. They're tiny ones.
What,
You're
you mean
thinking of a big goat. No, they're real tiny.
the little pygmy goats?
Yeah, well, they're not that tiny, but they're like little dogs, like a little schnauzer goat. He goes, bah, bah, bah.
I've never heard of that in my life, ever. I've never goat yoga. You're making that up, Alan.
I think
I'm
you might
sure
be
you
making
Google
are.
it. Google it.
You're making it up. You're winding me up.
So Shannon, I haven't seen a camel in real life, but I can see that making me laugh too.
Oh, they're lovely. Honestly, they're beautiful. I mean, like I said, my one, I'll send you a picture. Honestly, look, like that.
Was it like on a wildlife trek? Because I've went on these wildlife things where you're in a car, but they'll come right up to the window. And they'll get the window all messy, and you feed them like carrots and stuff too.
No,
But they're
this
real
one,
like big wildebeests and big honking big beasts.
no, this was specifically for camel trekking.
Oh.
So you sat either side and of the camel, and they were all sort of strung together by a bit of rope, and I was assured that the camels were very well taken care of and that they were treated really well and everything, because I wouldn't have done anything like that if the animals weren't treated nicely, but they were treated really, really, really well. And and you just went in a line, up these mountains and stuff. It's a fantastic place, Lanzarote. It's really it's very volcanic, so there's lots and lots of it's black. What it reminds me of is what it probably would look like if you went to the moon. There's lots of craters, and where there's a what's the name of that mountain? Timanfaya Park, where you walk through all the volcanic rock and everything. It's an amazing place. Really, really nice place. Really, lava fields. That's it, lava fields. Yeah, so amazing place. And I think there's been a few things filmed there as well. Simon, what's the name of that thing that was filmed there? Something on the moon, wasn't it? Something to do with the moon. Oh, I don't know. I can't remember anyway. Yeah, but there has been things filmed there. It's an amazing place. Really, really lovely.
Oh, here's bad. I have pet a buffalo here near me. Most beautiful creature.
Oh, buffalo! Imagine that having that near you. That must be lovely.
Yeah, bison.
Awesome. Yep.
That is
Buffalo.
awesome.
I know you can't pet the wild buffalo because they will attack.
Really?
Like
Would
out in
they?
Yellowstone. Yeah, they said just leave the wild buffalo alone. But I guess bad pet a tame buffalo.
Yeah.
Reminds me of the movie Radio Flyer.
Yeah, I've seen buffalo at Yellowstone National Park.
Zunies, cool name. Good name for a horror book.
Yeah, that is a cool name.
Zonies.
Zonies.
Zonies. I'll have to remember
Zunies
that.
are Indians.
And MJ was in San Diego about 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's a great
so you
place.
know how cool it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
San Diego's the shape.
Yoga.
But apparently we're having like San Diego weather. When we get good weather, I call it San Diego weather. Like it's been 78, like low 80s for. Well, we had a 95-degree day last week or something, but weather's been great this summer. That's why one reason I'm here in Portland.
It's been incredibly hot here in the UK. I mean,
Yeah,
really hot. And you know, it's lovely. I like the sun and I like it being warm, but we're never happy in the UK. We moan when it's too hot, we moan when it's too cold, we moan when it's raining, you know. So but I'd much rather it was like this than raining all the time. But then that's what gives us our beautiful greenery that we've got here. So, you know, it swings and roundabouts really, isn't it?
So here's Gareth.
Yeah, my friends in Ireland are saying the same thing.
Yeah.
It's been real hot over there.
Goat yoga. I'm going to look that up.
I got to look it up after this.
I thought Alan was playing a trick on me.
I wanted to do elephant riding when I was in Thailand, but I heard they treated badly, so we didn't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard the same as well, Gareth, and it's not, no.
Especially, you know, in certain countries, like where they will really give the animals minimum care.
Yeah, no, that's not right.
Shannon's gotta go.
Bye, Shannon.
Gotta run, guys. Been a blast.
Oh, Shannon.
Yeah, and the new Moppet Show.
Yeah, the Moppet Show. And I'm going to look for that book since September.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You know, I was telling Greg about somebody else, but I'm always surprised. I don't know exactly why, but when I read, you know, my friends who are on BookTube who are authors, when the writing's pretty good, you know, I'm really impressed and surprised. So I like this book a lot. The ending, I still remember the ending, and one of the scenes in it gave me an actual nightmare. Gave me a bad dream. One of the scenes in that book.
What book was that?
It'd be giving away a spoiler.
It would be a spoiler.
I could tell you. Huh?
You know, this is a spoiler, so just read the book since September.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that one. Okay, yeah. Sorry, you broke up a bit. I didn't know what one you was talking about. Since September. All right, I will definitely look that up.
Yeah, she'd appreciate it.
Comments. We've gotten to all of our comments.
Wow.
Oh, we did?
Caught up at last.
So Netty, you had some more Garbaga stuff you wanted to show.
Yeah, I will. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go and get it.
Okay.
Right. I'm gonna get another coffee.
Okay. Oh. I might be able to bribe Simon into making me a cup of tea. Where am I?
Another John O'Hara book cover. Not quite as trashy as the first one, but I'll show that to keep people entertained. And here's Gareth. So here's another comment.
Oh. What else have I got? I've got loads. I've got loads. Oh. Well,
this other John O'Hara cover, not quite as good as the other one, but He's moving in on the girl.
I don't know. That's quite decent, that one.
Yeah, it is.
I've got one coming called oh shall I wait? I might wait and do
All
a
right.
reveal on that one. Because yeah, the cover, well, is just horrendous. You'll like it.
All right.
But I'm looking forward to doing our read together, Greg. For in September. Are you all right for September to do this?
Yeah. September. As of now, September's looking good.
Okay, that's fabulous because I think that's going to take me a little while, that one, but I look forward to doing that.
Is that when we're going to read that one book?
Yep.
This one.
Okay, yeah, it's in my cart. I'll buy it for September, yeah.
And we're doing Sirens of Titan as well, aren't we, in August?
That's
August.
Yeah, so that's all right. I'm looking forward to that because I need to get round to doing that. I need to read more Vonnegut. I really do. I've got all the books and I just haven't got round to reading them. I love him. I just think he's.
I think I've read every book of his except Dead-Eye Dick.
Okay.
They're all.
I haven't read that.
I don't think anyone says it's his best book.
No.
You're not.
No, that's like Hocus Pocus or something. You know, a book I like by him a lot is Bluebird. It's about the American expressionists, the painters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
No, that's not Hocus Pocus.
That's Bluebeard.
That's Bluebird.
That's Bluebeard.
Yeah.
Yeah. But right, okay. So this one, I couldn't believe my eyes. All Night with a Rogue.
Jeez.
That's just terrible, isn't it?
It's wonderful.
Oh.
All Night with a Rogue.
All Night with a Rogue. And it
reminds me of the Allman Brothers album Enlightened Rogues.
A Lords of Vice novel. Pleasure so wicked, never felt so right.
Yeah. The story of my life.
Oh, Alan. Oh dear. And the other ones that I've got are just Mills and Boons. They're just Mills and Boons books. But this one I thought was where is it? Here, this one I particularly liked. Where are you? Claws of the Wildcat.
Oh God.
But I did quite like the old Mills and Boons, you know, when I was really, really young. And they were just fun, aren't they? Fun books. But yeah, I got a whole stack of them. Came through. Whether or not I'll read all of them, I don't know. But they're just nice to have as well.
I bought a whole box full of those naughty westerns. I don't think I'll ever get through them all. But
no. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, if I've got anything else. I'll tell you what was a really good book. Oh, have you heard of this one? Have you heard of this book? The Hearing Trumpet.
The Hearing Trumpet. I have that. Where is my hearing? What's it? The Kerrigan.
Yes, Leonora Carrington.
Carrington. There it is.
You've got it. Have you read it, Greg?
Yes, I have.
It sounds fantastic. I got it a few months ago, and that's something that I definitely want to read for sure. I like these sort of books, these sort of vintage classics. I've got one called where is it? I can't think where I put it. Something about losing the head. Oh, I'll tell you what, this was a really good book. This was really good. I read this year by Arthur Schnitzler. Dream Story.
Oh,
Have you heard of that?
I love the cover. I like the cover.
That's really good. That is where Stanley Kubrick got the idea for Eyes Wide Shut. I don't know if you've ever
Oh,
seen
wow.
Eyes Wide Shut, which is a very quite
Yeah,
an intensely erotic film, isn't it?
Secret Society.
Yeah,
Secret Society, yeah.
yeah. But this is excellent. This is a really, really good book. Really good. So I would recommend that one.
What's
But
it
yeah,
called again? Dream what? Dream Story?
it's called Dream Story by Arthur Schnitzler. Schnitzler. But I really like that. But the hearing trumpet, did you like it,
I
Greg?
did. I was about to say, the main character is in that book another woman, elderly woman,
Yeah.
and again, I meant when I read it, it's like, oh, you don't see many women that age, and
No.
it has its surreal element to it in that book.
That's kind of what I liked about it was the fact it was an older lady,
Yeah.
and exactly what you said, it was quite surreal as well.
So I think you'll enjoy the hearing trumpet. It's a good, and it's got some art. At least my edition has some artwork from the author.
Yeah, I've just seen that like that.
Yep.
I know of a novel that has a elderly woman in it that's kind of surreal. It's called Epsilon Epsilon. Talk about an old woman in the attic.
So Gareth is saying, Greg, did you move to a different part of your cellar to film? Those hard case books are impressive. Yep.
Oh,
And
yeah.
no, I'm not really. I'm still in my regular spot. It's just.
Oh, I love your library, Greg. It's
Thank you.
fantastic. Has it
Yeah,
taken you a
it
long
really is.
time to accumulate your
All
library?
my life.
All your
And-
life, yeah.
And I've gotten rid of a lot of books too.
Have you?
I have.
I don't think I could part with any of my books. I can't.
Is at one point my wife and I had a house, and we're going to downsize to a really small house. And she says she's picked up some books, like a horror book. You're never going to read this book. Why have it? And so I got rid of a lot of my old pulp horror books because $5 on the cover says I'll just buy it again if I want it.
Yeah.
And then Grady Hendrix came out with his Paperbacks from Hell.
Yeah.
And all those books that I gave away for pennies.
It's sickening, isn't it?
It is.
It is absolutely sickening. Yeah, I had a relationship with somebody who, it didn't last very long, but anyway, he left a ton of books. He was a big Stephen King reader, and he'd read Stephen Laws and all that, and he left all the books here. And because I was so didn't want anything to do with him, I gave them all away, and now I wish I'd kept them. But there you go. It doesn't matter, does it? You just don't know, do you? It's like all the Dean Koontz thing that we laugh about, but I bet you anything he's going to become really, people will want to buy his, books, his vintage books,
Yeah, I have a vintage Dean Koontz book. I don't know if I can
One
reach it.
where he's wearing a mustache. Yeah, if you have like Dean R. Koontz, those are old ones with the R in them.
Yeah.
Here's an old Dean R. Koontz
The
book.
Haunted Earth.
And oddly enough, I bought this in San Diego, California.
Oh, isn't that strange?
And I bought it for $3.
Wow. What a fantastic cover.
It is. And it's a science fiction book. I don't think he's written about a lot of science fiction.
No, that's worth hanging on to that.
It probably is.
Yeah.
1973. He would have been really young.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have been. And but I bet you he had that amazing hair that he's still got now.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Oh, here's Medium John Silver, hoping I do a hard case crime tour someday. I tried to film one about a year or so ago, and it's hard to hold up to 36 books and talk about each one and have a reasonably length video. And you make so many mistakes that I got to start over. Now, I have since that bought editing software. So in theory, I could do it better. I just talk about a book and make a mistake, redo it, and go on again. So maybe I'll give it another shot.
Do you do a lot of editing on your videos, Greg and Alan?
Very little. Are you talking Alan or talking to me?
Both of you. Do you do a lot of editing? Because I'll be completely honest with you, I don't.
I don't do a lot.
I used to do a bit.
Yeah,
I used to have Time Master, but my phone doesn't have enough memory, and I even have a card, and I can't figure it out. So, but I found that I get the same amount of views or more with just putting it out there with no editing.
Yeah,
I spend a lot of time on fancy editings and showing books up here and down here, and look here, and spinning around, and look at this. Then zoom in, zoom out.
What about you, Greg? Do you do a lot of editing?
I used to be just one shot, no editing.
Yeah.
But what happened is I wanted to talk about books that I didn't have physical copies of.
Yeah.
So I put the picture-in-a-picture image in the video, and I was doing it on my iPhone.
Right.
And at one point, I'd finished editing a video, and the phone said, "You're out of memory. We cannot save this video."
Oh no.
And it happened once. And what happens is you delete your app, and then reinstall it, and then after the second time, I got really pissed.
Yeah.
So I decided just to bite the bullet and spend $60 a year for editing software on my laptop.
Yeah.
So now I have to send my video to my laptop to edit, and I can put it all in, and it works okay. So
do you use an iPhone and then you use editing software on, say, not on an Apple?
I don't have a really functional Apple laptop, so I go to my Windows laptop.
Right. Okay. That must be tricky, is it? Yeah.
Well, the problem is you can just plug in the video in a cable and transfer it over.
Right.
You lose color.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
And now there is a workaround to losing color. Is once I film my video, I upload it to my Google Drive.
Right.
And then from my Google Drive, I download it to my laptop. And there's
I've got you.
There's no color loss.
No. Oh, that's a good good tip then, isn't it? I mean, I actually used my phone, but then I found my phone was running out of storage as well, and so I just got an iPad Pro, and I just used the software that came with that. But I don't really edit my videos very much. That takes next to no time. Do you know what takes me the longest is mucking around with Canva doing the thumbnails, because I love doing those thumbnails. That's
fun.
What I like. That's what I like doing.
I've also gotten Canva, and I've spent more time on Canva now than I used to.
Yeah, I love it, and I actually do. At first I was using the freebie, and then after a little while I thought, I'll give the trial a go and see how I get, see what it's like. And it's a complete game changer getting the subscription, and it's not very much. It works out about £2 a week or something.
I did it yearly. It's like 115 a year.
Yeah, it's not very much, is it? No.
But I love the background removal on pictures.
Oh yeah, that's fantastic, isn't it? Absolutely fantastic. And because I was using just something that I found online where you just put your photo in and it takes it away for you. But now on Canva you can do it within your thumbnail and everything, can't you? It's great.
I don't even use all the I mean, there's probably more features that I could use that I'm not using right now, but it's good.
I don't think it doesn't matter, Greg. Whatever works for you, isn't it? Really. I mean, the thumbnails are what I really like doing, but my actual videos, yeah, I'm literally just talking normally like I do now, you know. But I have noticed when you watch them back, I say the same things over and over. I say a lot of the same words over again. Like I'll
Yeah,
say
we all do that.
absolutely. And I think, oh my God, I'm saying absolutely. I absolutely love this. I absolutely love that. And
I did that.
I didn't notice that.
Now the thing is,
I do, Alan.
Yeah.
I am doing this more and more often. Is now that I have this editing software, it's like, let's say I'm holding up this book and I'm reading the back cover,
Yeah.
right? And I read that and I stumble over some words.
Yeah.
It happens. It used to be I just went on, but now I start over and read it. And then when I go to the editing, I just chop out
that bit out. Yeah, yeah.
I'm doing that more and more often than I used to.
Yeah.
You know, there are some people who will, you know, say sometimes, and they will go in and they will chop out all the ahs and ums, and I'm like, okay, that's a little too serious for me.
I quite like the ums and the little things. I think that's what makes them unique to you. You know, when little mistakes happen or whatever, you know, I think that's quite fun, really, keeping those bits in. The first video that I ever did, my daughter decided to drop something in her bedroom, and there was this loud crash, and I just went, oh, I think my daughter's just dropped something. Yeah, that's real life. I'm leaving it, you know. Sorry about that. And that was it. Just carried on.
You know, I think that's a lot of fun because, you know, I have cats, and sometimes I'm filming a video and my cat decides to come up and go walk in front of the video camera, and I usually give him a hug and a kiss and leave it in. You know?
Oh, yeah, it's nice. But it's nice. That's what people want to see. They also, I think, you know, that you're human and that you do have, you know, a real life around you as well, you know. Well, not everybody's channel's like that, obviously. I like those channels, and I also like the ones where people put in a huge effort and it's like theatre, you know.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Like, I think, goodness me, it's just the creativity.
They script the video before they film it. They
really?
Some people are on scripts.
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
Do you think they've got like an auto cue that they read off as well, or something?
Maybe they do.
God,
I'm not that serious.
You would see me, I'd be going and I'd be like,
right.
Well, sometimes I do have things I do want to read off of, like I'm reading prompts for a tag, and you can see my eyes reading the tag, and you know.
Right.
Well, sometimes I'll have my iPad there, and I'd like, if I'm talking about a book that I've read, and I just need a little bit of a reminder of a few of the names and things like that, I might glance to one side, but generally speaking.
Nope. Have we lost Netty?
Well, for quite some time.
No,
oh, it's nice. Listen, guys, I'm going to have to go, and I don't want to say.
We've been here 2.5 hours, so.
I know this has been fantastic.
I think this is our longest one yet.
I've got about 10% battery left on my phone.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'd stay.
Me too.
You know?
I was about to say that 2.5 hours is a good old talk. So
yeah, it's been fantastic. I hope we can do it again sometime.
I think we should. I mean,
yeah,
I really enjoyed having you on. It was a lot of fun.
I've really enjoyed talking to you guys. And honestly, you two have been so good to me. And honestly, when I say about my, you know, reading Gravity's Rainbow and all that sort of stuff, you're like my mentors. So I'm hoping that
next year we'll do that.
You two are going to help me get through that book, because I want to
Gravity's Rainbow next year.
I want to read it before I die, but I want to read it with people that will help me along the way.
Well, I read it once before.
You'll be my third read of it.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I'll show you my edition, Netty. I'll show you both my edition when my dad. It's in a box in Phoenix on its way up here.
I'd love to see that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a trip of a book.
Alan,
and next time we'll have to compare our mops and see how we've
Yeah,
got on
right.
with them.
Yeah, I have wooden floors here, so I need that Swiffer sweeper. I think Greg's went to get his Gravity's Rainbow.
When you speak of Gravity's Rainbow, I have this.
Your companion?
Okay.
This is
Oh,
an artist.
I've got a companion as
who did a-
well. I'll show
for
you.
every page on Gravity's Rainbow.
Yeah.
I've read that from the library, Greg. That's a hell of a project.
It is.
I've
Whoa,
got this one.
What's that?
The
This
Cambridge
is-
Companion.
Oh,
This is the
wow.
Cambridge University companion
Oh,
to
Lord.
Thomas Pynchon. Yeah, this was recommended that I get this to go alongside the Gravity's Rainbow.
I knew there was a reason I liked you, Netty. And that's excellent. I need to get that. I bet that's pretty expensive book, though.
Yeah, Simon actually bought this for me for Christmas, so
Yeah.
it was a Christmas present.
Did I?
Yes,
Wow,
yes,
that's nice.
did I? Yes, you did, love. You did. You bought it for me. But,
That's great.
yeah, so that is like a companion to go alongside it. But I've got a really, really old copy of Gravity's Rainbow. I'm going to quickly show you. Where is
Okay.
it? And then I'll let you go. Oh, where is it? I've got a new copy and I've also got this one. And there is a method in my madness. And I've got two copies. But the reason why I bought two was because I thought,
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's like the original, I think.
yeah. No, I bought this one because I thought I'll just get a tatty copy so that I can make notes in it, because I don't really like drawing on books or anything like that. And I thought this is definitely the type of book that I'm going to have to take notes on. I'm going to have to. And I don't really annotate anything, Alan.
I have it on Kindle, but I also have this.
Oh, what's that?
Oh,
Wow.
wow. That's an old copy, yeah.
That
Wow,
is
look
a
at that.
really old copy, isn't it?
It is, but it feels just right for this book. The way that large paperback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a really, really nice copy, that. So I actually did buy this to scribble in, but I don't want to.
Get a
I don't
Kindle
think
version.
No, I think I'll just buy some tabs.
Okay.
I don't
Oh,
want to write in
mine's
it.
all annotated, though.
It's really old. It's
I
really
annotate
old.
in green pen, and I'll annotate in red pen, and then some more red pens, and get another like pink pen.
Do you know what? This could be thousands of pounds, right? This could be my legacy.
Uh-huh.
And then I'll be scribbling in it and I'll be crying because
Oh, there you go. You got a point. That's a good point.
Okay.
But anyway, guys, it's been an absolute
It has
pleasure.
been an absolute blast.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you
don't
so
forget
much.
to Google Goat Yoga. Goat Yoga.
Who's been in the comments? I didn't get to read all the comments, but you know how it goes.
Thank you very much to everybody who commented and came and watched the madness, especially with mops and stuff.
Well, you know,
That's not something you
the
see every
Muppet
day, is it?
might be appearing in a short.
Do you know what? Michael K. Vaughan has got Roger, and I've got my mop.
Come up. A sweeper.
Oh, you take care, guys.
All
All
right.
right,
Thank
see
you
you,
so much.
See you guys.
Bye.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I'm off to make some